Hi, this is David M. Today I will break down 10 mistakes to avoid in filmmaking. Yes, 10 mistakes. Without any further ado, let's roll it. The number one mistake to avoid is not to set your frame rate to 24 frames per second before shooting your film. If you want to achieve that very film look that we all love to see in cinema, then this is the way forward. 24 frames per second is the key setting in your camera, nothing less or more. I know some people may, think or shoot 30 frames per second to stream game, sport videos, things like that, but for that very film look, the tradition is 24 frames per second. You have to set on your camera. The number two mistake to avoid is bumping your ISO to an insane level. This is something I keep saying, and honestly, it really hurts. You could be using the most expensive camera and keep wondering why your image does not look, right compared to competition out there. But I'll just have to break the news for you. You have to check your ISO, and also you should always keep it, to the best level of your camera. The number three mistake to avoid is never to set your camera on auto function. Never do that, especially when recording. That is the worst mistake you can ever do as a filmmaker, because you are basically, showing that you don't know how to use your own camera, and that's not really good, especially if you're working with people and people are kind of watching what you're doing. So you have to take control of your own camera and use the manual function. You are the filmmaker, and the camera is just there as a tool for you to use. That camera is supposed to be there to obey to the instructions that you put forward. The fourth mistake is to overexposing or underexposing your image. This will make you struggle a lot, in post-production, especially when you are doing your color grading. The details from the highlights and shadows wouldn't be, available. You can use the histogram or the waveform in your camera, or, from an external video recorder like the Atomos Shogun to basically control that quite well. The fifth mistake I see people make is the way they color grade their log footage. Well, as a filmmaker, it is quite important to know what color grading means. It is an essential tool to tell your story, and it gives a specific tone and feel to your film. For example, the way you color grade of a horror film will not be the same thing as, as a sitcom or a comedy. Even after using a specific lot, you still have to do some color grading, by tweaking a little bit, also make it, pop up. The sixth mistake to avoid is not using enough light for your film. You must always have a form of light to shape the story of your film. It doesn't need to be an expensive light. It could simply be natural light, from the sun outside during golden hours, which is either, the sunset or the sunrise. Yeah, lots of film. Even myself, I've done that a lot, and it looks quite natural, with the shadows on the skin. You can also use the light from your own windows. It's a good source of natural light that could enhance your film. This is a very useful source. And also when you have to diffuse it, to make it look a little bit more pleasing on the skin. Yeah, natural light. And the seventh mistake to avoid is using bad audio in your video. Action. Bad audio will never be forgiven, even if the image is as clean as spring water. Think of investing in quality audio equipment and not just throwing all your finances on the latest camera. You can get a good audio microphone like the Rode mic that can, enhance, the sound of your film. This will actually really solve a lot of problems. And in camera, you can also set your audio level to -12 decibels and then tweak it later in post if needs to be. It is quite very important in filmmaking. The mistake to avoid is unnecessary shaky footage and throughout the video, especially where it doesn't fit the story. Some people think it looks classy to do that, but personally I wouldn't make my footage look shaky. Maybe if it is a fight scene or like a chase scene, and also matching the tone of the film score, yeah, you can use the shaky footage. You can buy a tripod or monopod or a gimbal, to stabilize your footage and make it look more real, to the viewers. Because don't forget, the lens of your camera is basically the eye of the person that is watching your film. So be quite careful the way you're handling your camera. The ninth mistake to avoid is having your footage not edited to the chosen song or score. I would tell you something I get to do 85% that inspires me, is listening to the scores. Your film should be, driven by the song that is, created to fit the story. Don't just grab some sound and, and then slap it on your footage and then that's it. It just doesn't make you look better filmmaker or even creative at all. So get the feel of the sound and edit, according to that sound. Right, the 10th mistake to avoid at all costs is basically neglecting the story of your film. I mean, I've seen people putting more energy in purchasing gear, basically, than, concentrating that very same energy in, the story of their film or whatever they are trying to tell. As a filmmaker, you have to know that filmmaking is an art of telling stories through visuals and sound. If you miss one of those, then you might as well just think of doing something else, just to save you that time and money. You better plan your story carefully. No matter how long it takes, you are the principal storyteller. Make sure the story is more than just, nice visuals, because the moment you publish your video out there, there is no way to take it back. So always try to concentrate on your story. Well, I hope you found what I've said useful. And if you have any questions, write your comments on the section below. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. Hoping to speak to you guys very soon. Adios, David M. Bye.